And now something I know that you've been looking forward to. This is our student speaker who was selected by you all to deliver the student commencement address. Please welcome Mohammad Mousa as he shares the title, In My Feelings.
It's a little bit lower. Looks good up here. Good morning, class of 2021, faculty, family, friends, and hopeful pre-meds watching on YouTube Live. Welcome to the University of Arizona College of Medicine Phoenix, class of 2021, commencement. First and foremost, a belated happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers out there watching. I would like to start by thanking our distinguished faculty and staff, our families, and our friends who have made this opportunity possible for us today. I would also like to take time to recognize those who cannot be with us today, whether due to pandemic restrictions or, sadly, those we've lost along the way. We would not be here without you. My name is Mohammad Mousa, and I have had the distinct pleasure of serving as your class representative for the last 4 years. I am extremely grateful for the opportunity to speak on your behalf. It is an honor to celebrate this day with you as we finally get to add MD to our Facebook and Instagram bios and answer the flight attendant when they ask for a physician on board. Unless you went to UC Irvine for undergrad and matched into radiology, probably don't say anything. Class of 2021, how are we feeling today? Standing up here today can only be summarized by the words of the great philosopher, Aubrey Drake Graham. You guys got me in my feelings. I want to spend time today summarizing the moments that brought us all here today and the feelings we all felt throughout our journey. The first feeling, inspiration. I remember the first time stepping foot on this campus, in 2016, when I went on a tour with my older sister. I remember seeing the older med students looking so professional, confident, and attractive in their stolen hospital scrubs and couldn't wait for the day I was in their shoes. I'm here now, although I feel confident and professional, I think I still have some work to do in the attractive department. The second feeling, passion. Who remembers the feeling of getting accepted into medical school? A few hands. I remember very distinctly getting the call from Dr. Fogarty telling me I was accepted into U of A Phoenix. It was a Monday morning and I was in a horrible mood. My dad and I had gotten into a small argument the night before about my laziness of doing landscaping work around the house, and coincidentally, one of the irrigation pipes in the front yard burst the following morning. My bad, Dad. I was midway through repairing the pipe, hands and feet covered in dirt and mud, when my phone rang. As soon as Dr. Fogarty spoke, in a conference call with Patty Hamilton, a mentor that I will never forget, I let out a few colorful words of excitement before they even told me I was accepted into medical school. This is a moment that I will truly never forget. I relay this story because I too have heard the many stories of my classmates, the moments that they were accepted into medical school, the circumstances they were all in, both in current time and in life, and the impact that one phone call made on all of our lives, even if we were covered in dirty irrigation water. Some of us were never meant to be here. I certainly wasn't. I take a look at my parents, both immigrants from Palestine, who came here, like so many others, in search of a better life for their families. I remember the stories of my father, working in New York City, in gas stations, bakeries, and as a delivery driver, working to afford his college courses, and who is now an aerospace engineer, working on a NASA project sending our next rocket to the moon. I take a look at my mother, who 2 years ago finished her PhD in linguistics at the age of 52, after raising 5 children, 3 of who will go through this very campus and educational curriculum. She's now a professor at Arizona State University, and although she's a Sun Devil, she is still one of my greatest role models and sources of inspiration. Without the sacrifices and passion of my parents, I would not be standing here. I bring this up because many of us have various stories of the sacrifices, experiences, and our passion for medicine, which brought us to where we are today, accomplishing a common goal, giving us the ability to add doctor to our contact names in our friends' phones. The next feeling, pride. Let's talk about the first 3 years of school. Definitely more name programs elsewhere in the Phoenix area. And finally, 4th year. Can I really do this speech without mentioning the pandemic? Our 4th year took our feelings on a roller coaster, a time that we had moments of panics that ultimately led to feelings of camaraderie and resilience. This last year, we saw the biggest weaknesses of our healthcare system come crashing around us. Our plans for residency and rotations were torn away in an instant. We often felt forgotten as students, put aside, and told to wait for a solution, and that it would all be okay. Instead, we stood up. Our class became leaders overnight, starting with PPE donation drives, working with the brightest minds in the state in creating innovative personal protective solutions, and volunteering our time staffing COVID hotlines and even on the internal medicine floors of our very own Banner Hospital. In the same period, our world was shaken to its core by the tragic murders of Dante Wright, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and the many black individuals before and after them. Again, our class stood up. I remember seeing my fellow classmates marching beside me and so many others in the very streets of downtown Phoenix, fighting for basic human rights. The actions of our peers showed that we can and will continue to stand up for what we believe is right in this world. The next feeling, triumph. These moments defined us as human beings, especially as we took on step 2, working on our residency applications and learning how to interview virtually across the nation, all while being dubbed healthcare heroes. Many of us match into our dream specialties in our dream cities. I for sure am super excited to move to a city I've only been to once in my life. Shout out Sacramento, California. But all of our success and accomplishments does not mean our work is done. Our world is changing rapidly, socially, ethnically, economically, and medically. We must continue to fight for those who cannot. Our unique privilege of becoming physicians places us in a level of power where we can be the forefront of change for the betterment of humanity. And now here we are, at the end of a very expensive, long year, long vacation that they call fourth year, ready to truly enter the ever-changing healthcare world. Now I would like my classmates to stand up. Yes, physically stand up. Yes, you too, Ryan. I know you're still seated at home. Take a look around you at your classmates, family, friends, and faculty, and realize we are all here because of them. Think about your patients who taught you what it truly was to be patient. And think about those marginalized communities who the system has failed time and time again. Okay, you may all be seated now. Despite all that we have been through, this is not enough. As graduation speaker, it is an expectation for me to impart wisdom on you all. However, I find it very, very difficult to do so when I have learned so much from all of you. I will leave you all with my favorite quote by Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. I've talked a lot about feelings today: inspiration, passion, pride, resilience, triumph. Now I ask you to never forget what those around you made you feel, and never forget how you are making your patients and every person you will interact with feel. And now I, Mohammad Mousa, Dr. Mohammad Mousa, first-generation Arab American and proud Muslim, thank you all for the 4 most incredible years and feelings of my life. Bear down and congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you. Very, very soon to be, Dr. Mousa.